in the fall of '86, Cliff died. And as horrible of an experience of losing your best friend, there was no way the band wasn't going to go on.
He's always had, you know, fighting attitude. Because we know Cliff would want it that way.
We just jumped in and started auditioning, calling around, checking in with people like Brian Slagle.
And I said, well, I think I have the guy for you, Jason Newsted. Of course, his favorite band in the world is Metallica.
When I went in for my audition, I'm like, holy crap. I know every song that they played and worshiped them and all that thing. He was incredibly talented. In the end, we just realized that Jason was the right guy. 11 days after I was asked to be in Metallica, we were touring Japan.
This is the new right here, Mr. Jason New Kid on bass guitar.
It was like Cliff wasn't there, and it was tough. And the way that we coped with that was to take that out on Jason. They hazed the hell out of that guy. Jason's with it.
Let's kill him.
We would always go drinking, all of us, without him, and then we would, of course, charge the whole evening's festivities to his room. We love you, Jason. I miss you.
We would tell him things like, you know that mini bar in your hotel room? It's all free, Jason, so let's drink it.
And I didn't know that it cost money. Dude, they're in your room, you know?
We weren't very nice at all.
Hey, let's go.
No matter if this band goes for 20 more years, you know, I'm always going to be the new guy no matter what. With the release of Injustice for All in '89, Metallica finally made a decision to make a video. Here's Metallica with their first video ever. This is called One.
At that time, videos on MTV were all just kind of cheesy and corny. We were more into portraying ourselves in a different light.
Television had the power to show the people what Metallica looked like and sounded like and make it almost a household name.
When the One video came out, it exposed millions of new people to Metallica. They were on the brink of, if you haven't heard of us, guess what? You will.
Me and James wrote what became the Black Album in probably about 3 months or so over the summer of 1990.
It was a constant battle between Lars and I. You want to hear it with vocals? Go sing it.
One person, one chord.
You know, we'd be fighting over ridiculous things that didn't matter. We'll fight for hours over it.
The vocal line goes exactly with the guitar.
But the conflict and the static created this electricity that we were hitting a new peak in everything.
When that album started taking shape, it was just like one great song after another.
From a production and songwriting point of view, it was a departure from all the albums they had done. Songs that were a bit different, a bit more melodic, a little more personal.
It was an amazing record, and it kind of had the feeling of keeping their old fans happy, but also kind of crossing the boundaries into new stuff.
Black Album was released in August of 1991.
The metal world was lined up in the streets in the middle of the morning, waiting for a record store to open.
The Black Album came out, debuted #1, and it was just a combination of, you know, an amazing album, the right time. The planets just all aligned themselves properly.
You guys expecting your album to do what it did? Were you blown away?
No, actually, I was expecting it to do a lot better. Every month I get a phone call, yeah, we just passed the 4 million mark, you know, a month later the 5 million mark, a month later the 6 million mark, and the record just kept going and going.
After like the third or fourth single, I just thought, when's it gonna stop? But he never really stopped. It was craziness.
That was really the time where you thought, okay, this band is the biggest band in the world, because everywhere you went, you heard Metallica.
We were just totally saturating airwaves.
40-minute music marathon, enter Sandman from Metallica.
If it wasn't the airwaves, it was, you know, the TV waves. It wasn't the TV waves, it was like the media. We were on front covers of magazines, and it was just everywhere.
You had people in Russia, you had people in China. There's people on satellites jamming to Metallica. Remember one time, dude sends a video. It comes on the screen, and you're inside the cockpit of a spacecraft. You see these dudes come floating into the picture, right? And you hear music come on, and it's Metallica. And he takes his hands, and his hands come up, and he's got Aunt Justice in one hand, and he's got the Black Album, and he goes.
I love them. They're my favorite band.
We started noticing that there would be many more females showing up at the gigs.
A lot of chicks. Looks like 50-50.
That's the sign of making it.
We got to a point where we would tell our tour manager, when we go off stage, we want you guys to have the showers running and girls in there ready and willing to bathe us.
They became known as Tug Tarts.
The guys on the crew would go out and ask young, willing females if they're willing.
The opening line would be, would you mind getting your hair wet?
We'd get off stage, hop in the shower, and voila. There would be like, you know, a girl in there. Sometimes 2, sometimes 14.
Whoever was in the shower last would get the not so good looking ones, you know.
I'd be lying to you if I said it wasn't pretty fun.
Might sound stupid, but how many in here don't have the new album?
The Black Album was giant, and we went everywhere and anywhere.
We were on the road for 2 years, and I think did somewhere in the vicinity of about 250 shows.
The band set out to play every market that they possibly could, and that was worldwide.
Moscow, we're having some fun today!
You know, we finished a leg on the tour, and then I remember our manager would come out, hey guys, guess what? We gotta go back to Japan. The Wherever I May Roam single has gone through the sushi house roof or something, you know. We gotta go back there.
When a record's got those kind of legs on it, you gotta go out there and just try and hold on.
On tour one evening in August '92 in Montreal.
We go out there and play our set. Everything's fine, you know. The audience is grooving.
During the song Fade to Black, I moved for some reason. I was right over a canister that would shoot up a 12-foot chemical flame. I was like, all the strings melted off the guitar instantly. I mean, it was the most horrific pain.
I was like, holy, I can't believe it. I can't believe this is happening.
Half my hair was gone, half my mustache and beard was gone, half my skin on my arm was gone.
I could visibly see the skin rising off the back of his hand.
Once we got to the emergency room, James was already talking about how we could continue the tour.
The Metallica attitude is, okay, that happened, but that's not gonna stop me from doing this.
James would not be able to play guitar for quite a while, but he could continue singing.
So we got another guitar player, and we were up and running again within like 2.5 weeks.
Bang! They came right back. Dun, 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 dun.
You know, some other band.
It was far from easy, but we were determined to kick people's ass, and we did. We knew that ride was only going to come by once, so we grabbed it and definitely had fun with it. You get one chance for a phenomenon, and that was our phenomenon.
After the Black Album tour of almost 3 years, I could not believe that it was over.
So thanks for all your support.
they're the biggest band in the world. Everybody loves them. So they're like, wait, we're not used to this situation. We got to do something to kind of shake things up and do something different.
Load came out in 1996. It was a risk both in the way they looked and the way they sounded.
The curse, just like a string. The people expected Black Album 2 were shocked, disappointed, and distraught. It was the new Metallica band.
So like we have short hair now, and we kind of dress like we work at funeral homes, and we drink martinis, but now we play songs that are kind of bluesy.
I kind of wish I was like really close friends hanging out. Like, dude, love everything. But listen, you don't need the eyeliner.
You know, we got arrested by the heavy metal police. Pull over, you know, you're not metal anymore, look at you.
It seemed to really affect people, and I really don't know why.
At that time, that felt right. And nobody's gonna sit down and tell me what Metallica's about or how it's supposed to be.
We were in the studio working on a track for Mission Impossible 2, and all of a sudden we found out that it was available on Napster.
We got online and checked it out and started to see the volume of songs that were being traded and started to realize that this is something that's beyond our control.
We controlled Metallica. So it was these let's go after them.
Hi, I'm Kurt Loder with MTV News. Napster, the controversial music swapping website, got a very special delivery on Wednesday when Metallica drummer Lars Ulrich showed up at the company's headquarters in San Mateo, California.
On April 14th, Metallica filed a lawsuit against Napster for basically encouraging people to steal and trade our music. Suing Napster from a publicity standpoint was probably the biggest misstep in Metallica's career.
About the most unhip thing that I've ever seen a big rock star do.
How much money does Metallica already have? Do they really need more money?
I used to like Metallica a lot, but the fact that they're doing this, I'm really upset about it.
All of a sudden, we were just like anti-music fan because we're anti-Napster. You know, we were the bad guys. We were these greedy rock stars. People branded us that.
Lars, for all the flack he took in the beginning, he was right. Sure enough, it has become a big problem. But at the time, they certainly were public enemy number one.
It was just one more thing that was kind of looking bad for Metallica at the time.
By the summer of 2000, there was a lot of tension within the band between the three guys and Jason.
Calm down. I'm trying to. Are you stressed out? Just a little bit.
It kind of felt like it built up over the last 14 years. Really, ever since he came in the band, he was always battling for position.
There was some stuff that wasn't dealt with when Cliff passed away that made Jason definitely the outsider.
Jason wasn't getting a lot of his music in Metallica, and so he wanted to do side projects.
Echo Brain was actually one of the projects that I had ongoing, and we started getting kind of serious, and we started playing more and more together.
James saw it as a betrayal. He just freaked out.
Man, that was such a sore subject. And, you know, I dragged Lars into it saying, hey, we can't let Jason go off and do this stuff.
Echo Brain's music was so different than Metallica's music. I could fathom how it would change the fan base of Metallica in any negative way.
We were on separate pages, I mean, completely separate ideas on what was going on.
So we called a band meeting. We all got together in this hotel room, and Jason just dropped the bomb right off the bat.
I'm gonna ask James straight up, dude, you can't be in a band with me if I do Echo Brain, right? He says yes. I said, then I have to go. I am leaving the band.
I don't think you can properly weigh the magnitude that his departure had on Metallica. And when he left, it shook them to the core.
You left the band, period. You left the band. Jeez.